So back to Silverstone we go. This time the international layout for round 4 of the F1000 Championship 2024. After my incredible performance at Cadwell Park, all of my followers were backing me to have a decent performance and hopefully go for that first podium. Some of my friends drove over 3 hours to come watch. One of my friends even brought 7 of her family members who were visiting from Serbia to spend the day at Silverstone. Even my mate, who would rather watch paint dry than come to motor racing, was there to support and watch. No pressure then. They got to experience things like the on-site Hilton Hotel rooftop bar to watch the start-finish straight. Not to mention access to the actual F1 Silverstone garages. And even watch my race start from the bridge above the start-finish line.
You can see us like, oh hey! Oh, that pink one went early!
I was doing my absolute best not to look at my family and friends up on the bridge and focus on what I was doing. Don't stall it. My heart's already in my mouth knowing that I'd stalled 3 out of the 5 race starts recently with the new clutch. The car was a bit battered and bruised from the crash that I had at Cadwell a few weeks back. Still had some scars, duct tape, and held together with a wing and a prayer. But she drove and that's all that matters. Then the drama started. She didn't start for testing.
Fucking love you.
And once we got going, we then broke down turn 3 at Stowe and I was rolled off the track, back on the trusty flatbed. So quali was a nightmare. Not only did the car fail to start when I needed to leave the garage to go to assembly, once I actually got going and got to assembly, unfortunately it broke down again and wouldn't start. This meant that we spent the first 7 minutes of the 15-minute quali sat just by the pit lane trying to fix this, not really knowing what's going wrong, other than the fact it's something electrical and to do with the ECU.
Try again.
So I had 8 minutes to set a time. However, I managed to stick at P12 out of 19, which actually isn't bad considering. I was getting an extremely irritating issue that we didn't really understand what was happening. Maybe a loose wiring, maybe this flat shifter was set up poorly. But either way, it just meant that I got a whole load of this. It just meant that I was maybe losing half a second to a second each lap. It was happening 6 or 7 times each lap at the same places. It just meant that I got less drive for the straights, so I was vulnerable. However, it meant I could still race and go for it. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button to follow along for this journey. Good start. Get a better start than Adam on the left there. But the guy behind us gets a really good start. That's Adam that we managed to hold off. And there's a spin behind us. Adam's hanging onto the back of us. Bit of late braking, keeping up with Tom there in front. But I'm getting this pulling back problem with the engine / shifter. You can hear it's come out of here. So it continued to lap 2. A bit further ahead, Tom goes for a little spin, which completely ruins his race, or so I thought. I'm now hanging on to the back of Mark. 2 laps later, we're still getting that pulling problem. And that means Adam has managed to keep on the back of us and is going to get into our slipstream. Try and make a move around the outside of Stowe. No. Defend the inside quite nicely. But I'm losing a bit of drive out of here. That sound was it happening again. So he's going around the outside down into Vale and Club here, which is a pretty impressive move. But because I think we can get a switchback going, we go up the inside. We're going to hang on here. Now, this takes a lot of trust from the drivers. I lift off a tiny little bit so not to go into him, but he holds on around the outside. Claim for track limits, but don't worry, I didn't go to the marshals for it. Great move by Adam there. 3 laps later on lap 7, you see Dan Gore there, who's managed to spin, and we've managed to gain another position up to P9. Dan Gore is the fast driver that was ahead of me at Cadwell Park, if you seem to remember. So there is a little bit of a rivalry going now, and he's hanging on to the back of us here. We're keeping up with Mark and Adam. Problem is, that sound is still happening, still got that problem, and Dan makes short work going around the outside. There it is again, and Dan disappears off into the sunset. After a long time of not being able to see him in my mirrors, unfortunately my teammate Tom manages to catch up with me. Here we are going around the final section of corners into the final lap. Obviously not feeling great about this, knowing that he's just going to take advantage of this issue, and he goes flying by. We give him one of those just to let him know what we think of this. Obviously all in good spirits. Race with respect and all that. And we come across the line to finish in P11. Unfortunately, P10 would have put me on pole position for the next race, which is where Tom started. So of course, knowing this, I wasn't too happy. I was only kidding. Going over to congratulate him on the P10. Nearly had him on track. I think the conversation went a little something like this. Yeah, nice drive, Tom.
Oh, dude, you're such a good driver and so handsome. Can't believe I beat you, and I'm casting it for tough.
So 4 hours went by, we were the final race of the day, and here I am clapping, trying to move things along here. If you look at my dashboard, you'd notice that my car is starting to overheat. We've gone over 100 degrees on liquid temperatures here. I believe it's water temp, I don't really know. And this means that the car is about to start breaking down. They're quite temperamental, as you all know. So I was very keen to get started. Fortunately, we did get moving, and by the time we were moving, the cool air started coming in. Here we are on the grid start. Notice Kaylee goes a little bit early there. We get a good start. Happy with that. Craig Pollard just in front, but Kaylee pops up the inside of us. Listen to the state of that. Get pickpocketed because it took nearly 4 seconds to get from second to third, but we managed to somehow hold on to position. Not quite sure how we managed that. And we haven't even let it ruin the race, to be fair. We've managed to stay right on the back of the pack here. Keeping behind Kaylee, knowing that there's going to be a good opportunity here with the amount of cars in the slipstream going to Hangar. Got a better exit here, so we're definitely going to get Kaylee. Get into the slipstream. As soon as we get out of it, we lose drive, so we get back in. We're going to try the other way. She moves over a little bit, getting a bit close to the grass there, but nothing major. Managed to get the move done with a little bit of slightly later braking. So here we see Mark and Adam have a little go at each other, so we're going to try and capitalise, getting very close to each other here. As we go round the final turn, Mark slows a little, so I back off. Probably should have kept the foot pinned, but we stay on the back of him. Now, I skipped a whole 11 laps because I want you just to see the highlight. I basically had to go at Mark the entire time, and here we are. Making a good move down the inside here. We've been eyeing that one up for a while now. It's faster through Abbey and Farm. Slight issue though. He's now got the toe going down Hangar straight, which isn't ideal for me, especially with that drive issue. So here you can see he's starting to gain, starting to use that slipstream. But having a look down the inside, I tried to move over to Fenn, but not enough really. We let him go, get real close to him. Pretty ambitious, thinking that I might be able to make a move here, but we go for it anyway. But he moves across, covers it off nicely. Back off, especially in front of the crowd, don't want to do anything too stupid. Trying to hold on to the back of Mark, going around the final turn. thinking we might be able to get him into Abbey and Farm, but no, we crossed the finish line, P11. It was a good race, I enjoyed it. We gave each other a good fight. Very fun weekend overall. There was definitely a lot to talk about. Tom's wheel coming off towards the end of the race, which meant that he lost that and ended up in the gravel. Plenty to work on from the weekend. I do know that Silverstone's definitely not my track. It's a bit wide, a bit open, not really clear exactly where I need to be, and it weirdly takes quite a lot of precision to make sure that you get the right line because of all the straights. I prefer a much tighter technical circuit, so it takes a bit more confidence to just go as fast as possible even though the walls are close. So for me, I like the ones like Cadwell, as you saw, Alton Park, and of course Croft. That is the next race on the calendar. So Croft, next race on the calendar. Technical is where it all started. It's where I had my first race all the way back in June last year. Just giving Mark a good hug there, having a quick chat about the race, talking about how I nearly got him, but obviously did well to hold on to the position. Very much a driver's circuit, so I'm really looking forward to that. Technical, fast, bloody far away up in Yorkshire. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button to follow along and see how we get on. I'm backing myself for my first podium. Thanks for joining me at Chapman's Corner.